Only one thing matters. The truth.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Trent the Truth Show. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Trent the Truth Show. I'm your host, Trent the Truth. Whatever you're doing, wherever you're listening from, thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to our podcast on Spotify and YouTube. It's the Trent the Truth Show. And while you're doing that, give us some love on social media. It's Trent the Truth on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you search. Real quick, today's episode is brought to you by Shy Soul Cuisine. Shy Soul Cuisine, specializing in the best vegan and seafood items with a creative twist. Stop eating unhealthy. Stop eating basic. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Come change your life and let Shy Soul help you. Also offering training with cooking classes and more. And just like I tell you guys, if you want to be a guest, you want to sponsor an episode, you got any questions, comments, or anything you want me to address, just email me at trentthetruthshow@gmail.com. Again, that's trentthetruthshow@gmail.com. And if you're feeling good and you want to bless us, our Cash App is TrentTheTruth88. Again, that's TrentTheTruth88. Don't forget to put the $ in the front. And, for the people out there in TV land, we got the QR code on the screen ready for you to pull your phone out and make the donation from wherever you're watching. But whatever it is you decide to do at the show, whether it's a question, comment, you want to be a guest, sponsor, or something you want to address, we do appreciate all your interaction with the show. Continuous proof of that. You might see a familiar face. We got Miss K back with us.
Thank you for having me back.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming back. You hit me when I'm saying like, man, I think I said a lot of stuff, but I didn't tell you everything. So I was like, damn, there's more to that.
But wait, there's more.
Right, there's more. So I think we did our episode maybe about a month and a half ago. How you been since the last time I saw you?
I've been good.
Yeah.
Had my ups and downs, life has its way. Little relapses here and there, but
right. We was talking about that. You said it so casually though, like little relapses here and there. What happened?
Fell back into a couple of toxic ways. Got back in a few toxic relationships. Started doing a couple of bad habits again that I shouldn't have, but back in recovery, not like I'm,
right. What led you?
Those go to AA. We don't go to AA. We ain't no alcoholic, nothing like that. But in a way, a healing journey is like that. It's like 12-step program sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes you're going to have a relapse, but that don't mean that the journey is over.
What led to that relapse though? Like what happened in your life that made you go back to that? You said relapsing in relationships too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do we get there?
Sometimes I'm not the best at taking my own advice. And last time I was here, I told you, and everyone that watched and tuned in, the biggest advice I could give is not go back to something you already closed the door on.
Right.
It's harder to do that when, you have children with someone and, you still kind of hold on to trying to have that family dynamic and stuff like that. So that's kind of how that door got reopened. And dealing with those environments also could be a little bit stressful, especially when it's uprooting all the work that you may have just put in to heal. So it's not saying that I'm unhealed. It's just, like I said, like a relapse,
What's your need to feel like you need to go back though? Are you just trying to keep the family together, or is it just like something about him particularly that was like, I can't get away from, or what? Like what was it?
I think it's more of a want. when they say the heart wants what it wants,
Mm-hmm.
or and stuff like that. And like for me, like I said, like yeah, I have dreams of like living a healthy life, having, you know, dream house and stuff like that. But most people also dream about having that family dynamic, and it's hard to accept that a family dynamic can still be blended. You know, I grew up in a blended family and stuff like that, so it's nothing wrong with that. But it definitely is always gonna be love there, never no love lost for sure. You just gotta realize when a relationship is not meant to be, when that person really is not meant.
Okay, but so help me understand how this goes though. Okay, so you move on. What was the gap from the last time you was with him to the recent time that you went back?
It was a year, and I would say it's more so a cycle, if I'm being completely honest. Like I told you, it was always kind of off and on type of situation. So I just got brought back into the loop because of the fact that started co-parenting again and stuff like that. So being that door being open, being around one another again because we, you know, share kids together, and not having those set boundaries all the way, of just keeping it at co-parenting. And it was both ends. Like, you know, I wouldn't say it was just on him or it's just on me, of like wanting to try and have that family dynamic. You know, it was definitely mutual, and it was also definitely a mutual. And then on the place, it's just more wanted. I will say it's more wanted on my end than the other party end for sure. Um, but also opening that door opened up a lot of can of worms of toxic things to reroute in my life. So I just, you know, now it's time to, you know, cut the grass, get the weeds out, and, you know, start fresh, start taking one day at a time, and, you know, try to get 1% better each day
I
for
mean,
sure.
you know, all of that is wonderful. It's great that you said that, but you said that before, and
Mhm.
it's like you would take one step forward, two steps back.
Mhm.
Um, what's making you do this?
Mm,
What's making you tell yourself? And then like even with your ex, your baby daddy, is he moving on throughout this time? Like in that year you haven't seen him, is he in a relationship? So now
mhm.
you got him cheating.
Mm. See, no. um, I wasn't aware of anything that was going
Would
on
you have
his end.
cared?
Yes, I definitely would. Anytime, I'm not the type of person to, if you want to move on and you want to better yourself, I'm not the type of person to try to come and uproot something. You know, I want people, including myself, to do better. You feel me? It was more so a pursuance, slightly on both ends, but definitely more push towards his end that caused, you know, the relapse to happen, but also not complete honesty and truth, which made it more toxic, because I didn't know that I was coming and uprooting something. I was told that he was doing great on his own. So I'm thinking, you know,
You can just come back in. So what part of that is you just thinking, okay, well I could walk out your life and then I can come back.
that's
What's
kind
is
of
that
been
is
the
that
cycle,
is
you
that
know?
like a high confidence that you have to tell yourself I can at any time I can just knock on your door, whatever you got going on, and you can just drop what you're doing for me? Like, is that your mentality with all this?
No, my mentality is never to have somebody drop what they have going on. That's what I'm saying. Like my mentality, me personally, like I didn't have anything going on. So like, you know, I'm free to move how I need to move, you feel me? But it was more so my people came knocking at my door, and you know, I ain't had nothing going on. So it's like, okay, what you got going on? Oh, you're telling me you ain't had nothing going on. So it's like, okay, so what we doing type situation. And then kind of find out
That he
the back
lied,
door was open and it was something in there, you know, somebody was already in there. And that's kind of how that played out.
but you fall for this pretty often. Like you said, it's a
Yeah.
cycle. Every couple of
Yeah,
weeks, every
I
couple of
have.
months. So how do you get out of that cycle though? Like, oh, it's cool to know you in it. So now we got to start thinking about all the traumas, all the things, the setbacks, we know all of them, or we know enough of them. At what point do we start the solution? So when do you see that you're doing something that's detrimental, and when do you say like, okay, look, I need to do something else?
It's about acknowledgement and accountability. And one thing I will say, I didn't take accountability all the time for my actions in the part that I played in the cycle. In a way, I will say like slightly play victim, but I can't play victim if I keep running back. At that point, I'm
That's what I
basically
mean.
abusing, being an abuser too. So me realizing that, I will say this time around, a lot of truths came out, and not even just about the present, but about the past too. And not everybody is going to get that clarity or get that truth. But I will say, I do believe that the truth will always come out sooner or later, and do believe the truth will set you free. And this time around, I definitely did get a lot of unanswered things that I was blamed for in the past, and the truth came out to make me realize, like, I believe the lies. I'm not gonna lie. I think the biggest thing that kept me going back is I believe the lies of it always being my fault. Like, I was the cause of things always falling apart. Like, and when somebody has that type of, mind game power over you, it's hard to walk away. Like, it's really hard to walk away. Um, Even when you know it's not right, even when you know it's unhealthy, even when you know it's toxic. And sometimes it's like I said, it's even worse than a drug, because that's not like a drug that just, come and then it go away. That's a drug that you're dealing with every day through the ups and downs.
Was it the man around the house that he was being, or was it the sex that made you feel like we need to try to keep? What was the
Both.
magnet for you? Okay, that
Both.
whole just him, period,
Yeah.
everything he had to offer.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like I said, it was also the family dynamic too. It was just like, you want your kids to have a father in their life. And yeah, it's one thing to have father figures around, you feel me, but it's another thing when it's only one person being called dad. That's who they look up to as a father figure, and that's who they gonna take away more from, you feel me. So that's the reason. But at the end of the day, I also learned, like, if somebody don't want to be a father or step up to that father role, then you need to keep that door closed too, and stop trying to push somebody to be something they don't want to be.
Right.
And I'm not saying that he don't want it. It's just like we all learning. Like, it took me a long time, and I'm still learning every day how to be a parent. So it's not an easy it's not an easy battle, and it's definitely not an easy journey. And I would say I'm definitely, I try to give grace because I want to receive grace. And sometimes in the situations that I was blamed for, I didn't really get that. But I do try to give that. And that's why I am the way I am when it comes to like being understanding. And I'm at this point just trying to move around and better myself and not go back into that, because at the end of the day, it's only so many times that, a person can show you they stripes. Like, that's a tiger right there. That ain't no panda bear. That's a whole tiger.
Right.
So you gotta realize who you get in the field with.
But where do you feel like you need grace at when you know you're doing the thing that you shouldn't be doing? Like, why do you want grace for that?
I think it's a lot of
Because it's only so much time. Like when people see what you're doing, they're gonna be like, okay, well, you like what you're doing, or you want to be there, or
it's more complicated when you're really in a situation of a toxic environment, or people threatening you, or you fighting every day and you feel some type of way. And then on top of that, like I said, and then you have this idea that love is in the center of all of that. Like, you're not in a clear space of mind to think logically all the time too. So that's why I say grace to people, because a lot of people just think like, oh, you're doing wrong, oh, it's wrong and stuff like that. But it's not that easy to just walk away, because at the end of the day, if that was the case, why is there so many supports to help women get out of them, or even men, because men experience domestic violence too. to help support people get out of those type of situations is because they know the impact that it has on your mental. Like you get a lot of brain fog because you ain't sleeping for real. Like you end up actually, like I said, even relapsing to try to cope with it. You may even go to actual drugs for real and stuff like that. So then you really not in a lucid state of mind. So it's not that easy to just be like, oh, I know it's not right and I'm done. It's just like it has to escalate to a point where it's just like, or you gotta find your out. Like you gotta find a way to get out so it don't escalate to a point where you getting hurt or the people around you getting hurt. And yeah.
Okay, but what I'm hearing though, I'm hearing it's like you teetering, one foot in, one foot out.
Mhm.
Something is attracting you, and it's like you kind of want to satisfy a personal need, and
Mhm.
you want to cover it up as saying, like I want to keep the family together.
Mhm.
Is that like a two things could be true kind of thing, or
Yeah.
because it was a year,
Yeah.
so it ain't like he just got some hold over you. It was a year, or a whole year, and you just decided to go back, and all it took was him just knocking on your door, like you say. It didn't take much, like no restraint. It was standing like he was waiting on them.
In a way, I ain't gonna lie. I will say I let that be known that the last conversation is that, I waited 6, 8 years for the outcome to be different, but in a way, like they say that's insanity. You keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. But when it comes to people, you will hope that a person will change. And even though I changed, and hearing that somebody is better than they self don't mean they changed all the way, because you're always going to be going through a healing journey or even a growth journey, because we're always changing and evolving. So when it comes to like being able to just say, "Oh, I'm completely done." No, I wouldn't say I was completely done. I held on for years thinking that things would be in a different outcome, and that we would be able to grow together in a healthier way, because we did the toxic. And I think that's a problem in society too today. A lot of us, we try to play house, we try to play family, but and at the end of the day, I didn't have no like, other than having a kid. Like I wasn't married for real. So, I ain't had that commitment of like trying to wait and trying to fight it out. But definitely did hold on to like, one day if we get it right, oh, this could be what it. But, like I said, sometimes we also hold on to non lucid realities too. And that's what I was holding on to instead of accepting the reality for what it really truly was. So I definitely did hold on, and I didn't let go completely. It was a piece of me that was still holding on. And that's probably why I did end up back in that situation, honestly.
Mm, mm. So you just had a life of just being a victim. Just everybody, just every corner, every turn, every year.
Hey, I didn't play my part of heartbreaks, and I didn't been part of heartbreaks.
Where do
I'm
you
not
hold yourself
innocent
accountable
for taking um
for everything that happened in your life? Because it's all because, like you said, I mean, it just sounds like people just done you wrong, but you participate in a lot of it.
Yeah, no, I definitely wasn't perfect. And that even goes back to the relationship I was talking about in high school. Like, I definitely did stay in the first one, like, oh, it was because we were on two different levels. Yes, that's part of it, but under the surface of everything, I wasn't perfect either. Like, it was a lot of unfaithfulness in that relationship as well, because it also was a slight long distance. Like, I was in the birds, he was in the city. So when I was in the birds, I had my own thing going on, and when he was in the city, he had his own thing going on. But then when we found out about it, it's like we felt some type of way. But at the end of the day, nobody was really ready to be truly committed to one another in that type of relationship
Mm,
mindset. And that's also what called, like I said, people like to play house, but nobody want to abide by the commitments of the rules of what that look like, you know. So that's kind of like, I'm not perfect. I definitely have hurt people in the past too with the choices and actions that I made. And some of that comes from things that I've experienced and putting up walls and not truly being completely vulnerable to just one person, because I feel like in my mindset, I always felt like I always have to have a safety net, a way out. So like if this don't work out, then I'm gonna be good. Like I on to the next type.
Do you think you'll ever do you think you'll ever stop having these ways, or multiple people, or cheating? So I'm saying, like, is that something that's gonna get up out of you one day, or you never plan on it?
Yeah, that's
Because you
not.
say you like to keep an exit thing, like.
Yeah, I know. I don't think nobody ever really planned on it for real. And if they do, like it's more so get back. Like, at that point, like if you planning on it, that's because you was hurt and you trying to get your lick back.
Well, I
That's
mean, you said you always gonna have like an escape route. Is that something that you just always know you're gonna do, or like you'll never be able to just commit fully to one person?
no. I would say like with this relapse that I had, I definitely have learned like it's definitely I've done it. Like don't get me wrong, I've definitely been loyal. Like I definitely have not always just been a cheater. It's just when I'm loyal, they not loyal. When I'm unloyal, they loyal. So it's just never the right timing.
Okay, right.
It was never like I'm just essentially out here just trying to, do people wrong. It was never like that. It just sometimes, and that's one thing I also had to realize. I got to get in tune with my unselfish conscience so I can control it too and not make the same choices that I make consciously. Because sometimes the conscious decisions are led by the unself-conscious. So it's just like, okay, I really gotta get deeper than what I thought. I was at the baseline of the healing, but now I really got to dive into it. Like, why am I move? Like you said, why am I moving like this? Why did I even think to go back? Like
Right.
I even told myself like I wasn't gonna go back. I wasn't never gonna let anybody touch me that and did all that to me. You feel me? Like consciously, I was telling myself that, but unconsciously, I was still holding on.
My mind's telling me no,
Yeah,
but my body's
it's
telling
telling me
me yes.
yeah.
Oh
So
wow,
yeah.
your ass just going. I don't know.
But
But you mentioned relapsing a lot, so you relapsed with the ex, um, and you also said you relapsed with the ex,
yeah.
the ex and the ex, the
Yeah, that's
ecstasy,
yeah.
popping Molly and all of that.
Yeah.
Um, so how long were you clean before that relapse?
Wow. Last time I did that was in 2019.
Damn, so you got a good 7 years out the way. What was the day that made you feel like, you know what, fuck it? Or was it just because you was back with your baby daddy, or it was a separate time that made you be like, you know what, I need to.
Like I said, this circumstances were a little bit different because a lot of truth came out, and that truth came out because it wasn't just getting one side of the story. I got the other party side of the story too that was involved.
And it was
So
so heavy that it made you just like,
yeah,
fucking, I can't deal with this.
yeah,
I call my pill man.
yeah.
What was it?
Um, like I said, a lot of the things that I allowed myself to believe, thinking like it was all my fault, and finding out the truth of like the timelines and how people were saying it was me, but come to find out that's what they was really doing behind closed doors,
Right.
and just it was a lot. And then also, I ain't gonna lie, it was more so also that was the escape for um like taking it all in, but also help take it all in a way too. Cause me personally, it gave me like a lucid, or what is it, euphoria way of looking at things.
Right.
So it helped me dissect things a little bit different being off of the X, but definitely also realize like
You could see better.
Yeah, it helped open the little third eye a little bit. But definitely not recommended. Like it also like definitely had a toll on how I was moving and stuff off the come downs and
So it
you
wasn't
know.
just one day; it was like a period of you went to a
Yeah,
streak.
yeah, I did go through a streak for like a few weeks. Every weekend was doing it for a few weeks. Then I realized like, dang, now I'm back. You know, like this was me. Like I wasn't doing this at all, and now I'm here doing it every weekend. Like, nah, this something gotta get.
What you be doing when you get off the X?
Um, a lot of, like honestly, a lot of things I shouldn't be doing. Um, I smoke slightly, but mostly be drinking. Just going back to all the bad habits. Um,
Like
Definitely went out a couple of times. To like bars and clubs and stuff.
partying heavy.
And yeah, just
Is this stuff
partying
you can
heavy.
remember doing, or you just be like out of it the next morning, or you don't know what happened, what you did? Is it one of those
Um,
cases?
a little bit. Some is like blurry, and then some is like lucid. I will say the first time falling back into it is very blurry, like very very blurry. Only thing I remember is there was some red and light white headlights that night, but definitely was cool. Like nothing happened, thank God. But like it shouldn't, yeah,
Do you
shouldn't
be
be.
out with people, or you be out by yourself when you?
Oh, no, definitely never go nowhere by myself. Like
Okay,
that was just something I was always taught
okay.
as I was younger, and like I said, on the last one, I experienced a lot of things being solo dolo. So if I'm going out, like I'm definitely having a friend or somebody with me. You feel me? Always traveling with somebody. So nah,
It sounds like it's so easy for you to fall back into.
it is. It's
Like, are you
easier.
really trying to do the work? Because after, I mean, you quit something after 4 years or 7 years. Now, what I do, I'll give you that. I do. I got some clients who recovering addicts and all of that, and no matter how long you've been, 15, 20, 30 years, you could very well relapse, which is why they call it that. But are you trying to really do the work though, or because it seems like it's just so easy for you to fall back into the nonsense and the drinking, the partying, the pill popping, the hypersexual activities?
Um, I will say I definitely have been doing the work even um during the relapses. I tried to hold on to some of the things that, were getting me through. If that was writing, if that was, stepping in a Bible class, if that was like, just taking a nature walk and stuff like that. Those are like the baselines of things. But when it comes to actually like continuing that journey and getting under the surface, like I told you last time, getting back into counseling, that was my biggest thing.
Okay.
um so definitely have gotten back into that. So um and like I said, it also takes a support team, even with like like I said, I look at it as AA. Like you need that community that's gonna hold you accountable, and you also need that community that, instead of always looking for, like you were saying, that safety net, I know I don't really need that safety net no more, because like I got a village that's going, be there for me
But you
even when I
gotta,
fall.
you gotta, you gotta know how to hold yourself accountable though. Like you gotta know how
Yeah,
to trust yourself.
yeah.
Like they say, character is who you are when nobody is watching. So if every time I'm around the team, the support team, I'm doing good. I'm going to Bible class and all that stuff, like you say. I'm doing that in front of the team, but when the team turn their back,
Hmm.
I'm over here.
Yeah, one foot in, one foot out.
Right. So
Yeah,
it's like, what do you think about your decision making? How do you judge your decision making? Like, what are you trying to do to be different?
I think that's the thing. Like sometimes we don't think about the risk we take when we make certain decisions. And with that being said, um, that causes you to become that person, that hurt people or end up using people, and that's why, like you said, I also have to hold myself accountable, but not only um by my past, but also just how I react and how I move. You feel me? I have to also, being accountable also comes with acknowledgement. Like, you feel me? Like, when I was younger, I didn't know why I was doing half the things I was doing. But once I got that acknowledgement of like what I was suffering for and stuff like that, I have coping skills and things I have to use. But if I'm not using them and I'm putting myself in environments that's going to take me away from doing the things that I know I need on a day to day basis, then I got to look at that cause and effect. So now I'm away from my support team and I'm over here on the other side because I got one foot in, one foot out. How is that affecting me? You feel me? Now I'm not sleeping. Now I'm having downs and crashing out and stuff like that, you
Right.
know? And that's what you have to really look at before you make a decision. And I think that's the biggest thing that I am taking this time around is realizing I don't want to keep going through that cycle, because at the end of the day, it's not just affecting me no more. This ain't just a me and you thing. Because at the end of the day, I ain't gonna lie, if it was just a me and him thing, we'd probably be duking it out for the rest of our life. Like Joker and Harley Quinn, you know? For on That's just how it can be
Trauma
when,
bonds are real. I
yeah,
will say that. Like, that is a real thing.
but it's not just me. And I will say, like, if I don't do better for myself, I definitely want to do better for them. And I don't mean that just for my kids. I mean that for my family. I mean that for the people that my story gonna touch and help get them either out of a situation or prevent them from getting themselves in a situation like this. Like, that's why I keep pushing through, because it's still days that I do want to give up. Like, I do not only relapse in relationships, but sometimes I relapse in my mental health when it get too much. But I use those tools to keep me going, and also that motivation, because not everybody got kids to be like, oh, I'm doing it for my kids, you know.
Right.
You gotta find other reasons of what you're doing it for and how you're doing it and why you're doing it. And sometimes it's not always for yourself, but the one thing I will say, you gotta focus on yourself regardless on who you're doing it for. You gotta, like you said, take accountability for self. You got to work on self. And I wouldn't say it was easy. It definitely was some resistance with getting back in that situation. It took a couple of months before I fell back into that cycle. It wasn't just one knock at the door. And I really did try to fight against sliding back into that, because, but then again, I also fell for the lies, like, you know, thinking it was sweet, thinking like, you know, this was what I've been waiting for, because
Because
I
you
was.
felt like you wanted to keep the family together for the children.
And for myself, like at the end of the day, like I said, it's all love. Like I really did want to be with that man. Like,
Okay.
yeah,
That's what it was.
yeah, I really wanted to be with that man. Like,
Whether you
no
had
cap.
kids or not.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's why I said if
Right.
we didn't have kids, it would have been Harley Quinn lifestyle.
Right.
Wouldn't care. But it's not just me and him no more. And that's how it was. Like, even when we fell off, it was still the same cycle. So, you know, you just, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't be like that. Women and men have to let themselves to know when to walk away. Cause you will choose to stay in a situation like that, because at once you get that I'm sorry and get that apology and get that I love you, you think it's all better, even though you
Right.
know you're gonna go through the same thing
Right.
maybe tomorrow or a couple of weeks down the line, you know. But once you get that apology, that's all you needed to, you know, put the band-aid on the wound. But that wound still is still open. You're not letting it heal.
And see, you sound like my kids.
Hmm.
Because they know all of the things that they shouldn't be doing.
Hmm.
But they still stumble, they still make
Humble.
their mistakes and do what they got to do. I mean, not do what they should do. Where do you know to correct your mistakes at? Like, what do you, because it's a cycle, like you say, and it
Hmm.
keeps happening over and over. When do you be like, okay, you know what, I saw this before. Let me do something different this time to get a different result. Because you're like, you keep falling for the same trap. Like, what do you,
Realizing the trap. You gotta realize the trap too.
you haven't realized it's
And
the
I
trap?
wasn't realizing the trap. I'm thinking every time was a different story. Every time was a different
What is he
timeline.
telling you?
So a lot of the time is it's the same. It's the what I want to hear. I want my family back. You home. I'm glad you back in my life.
You just
I'm
want
a,
some of
I'm
that
gonna get
cat.
it right. You know, just
He just wants some of that cat. You
yeah.
talked a lot about though, about the type of support and all that. What kind of support do you feel like you need in order to really, really make that change? In order to start making better decisions? In order to start staying, keeping the foot that you need to keep in or out, keeping both feet together.
Honesty. You got to be honest with yourself, and you got to be honest with your circle. When you start hiding stuff and you're not honest, then that causes you to be able to relapse.
You need people to be honest with you, or I say, what kind of support do you feel like you need?
The support I need,
Because
mm,
I mean, because after so long, if I keep helping you with the same problem, like take a homie, you got a homie, she keep telling you, "Oh, girl, Greg keep cheating on me, and he keep doing all this," and you tell him, "Look, oh, girl, leave Greg," and then you go to the next function and she with Greg. You might let it slide the first time, but then two, three more times it happen when you still giving her advice. How long before you tell yourself, "All right, look, this is obviously what she want to do. I don't got no advice for her." So how long do you think you got with your support team before they just really just say, you know what, this is what she want to do. She's comfortable falling in these cycles. She just want to play victim. Woe is me, pretty little girl. So everybody just gonna come to her defense. Let's help her, let's help her. But this is what you like to do. How long do you think you got until they
honestly,
figure
I
out?
think I was stuck in it so long because I didn't have a support system. No, I hid everything. It's when I told the truth. That's why I said honesty, because when I hid what I was going through, nobody knew. So I really didn't. The few people I did, like you said, I was crying wolf. You feel me? Because I wasn't ready to leave that situation. But it comes with honesty to myself. I have to be my first support before I can let somebody else support me. You feel me? Like you said, it all starts with self. And if I'm not supporting myself to be in a better environment and better my life and better my health, then yeah, I'm gonna keep ending up in the same cycles. I'm gonna keep going the same way I was going, because at the end of the day, and I think a lot of the things that I've seen in my life have helped me to realize that even having a father um that is actually an addict that gets clean and then relapses and gets clean, that's been going on my whole life,
Mm.
so it's just like some demons are bigger than others, but it really starts in self. Like if you choose to leave that life behind, you wouldn't be around the people that still doing the drugs. You wouldn't be like, you have to sometimes also go in isolation, because the more people you have around, the more distractions you have around, and those distractions may not support you. You feel me? Regardless of what opinion or advice they giving you, you gonna choose where that left and right foot go. So at the end of the day, I have to support myself in the things that I know are going to help cope me and better me into a better person. And then be very wise who you let close to you, because if you let somebody toxic back into your life, that's gonna rub off on you. Like they say, birds of a feather flock together. And it was a video where it was like a moldy old and like two fresh ones, and they kept them in a container. At the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, all three of them got moldy because the mold was in there. So that's like toxicity. If I'm allowing toxicity around me and in my environment, then that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna eventually become toxic. So regardless if you had people that see it, you have to also know how to shut the door and keep the door shut. And that was my biggest part. Like I said, with holding on, that door wasn't completely locked. That door was still open for me to allow them ways to happen. And that's something I didn't truthfully know under the surface, because I was always looking at the baseline of things. Oh, I'm going to the gym. Oh, I'm going to Bible study. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm telling my story now. Oh, I can talk now. It was the fact that I could even talk now. Like, I couldn't talk about this a few years back. I didn't really talk about it to nobody. Even the people that did know, I didn't really talk about it after I got out of the situations. So even to be able to get my voice back and acknowledge those things, you know, that's because I was in a more healthier environment. So I can't keep stepping away. And so, even in a healthy environment has its ups and downs. But if you want to truly grow, you gonna know what's growing you and what's killing you. Because at the end of the day, grass is green, but it still get weeds. So you gotta know what to cut away and what to keep.
That is true. That is true. That is true. But it's all in recognizing your mistakes, not making excuses for it, holding yourself accountable, and then purposely making the change. Is that something you can say you're doing?
Yeah.
But you just said, you still kind of stumble. I feel like it's something that's gonna keep happening.
No, I think we
Because how,
like
how does your
yeah.
support group know that their support is getting through, that it's working, or that is, that you're making an effort to make the change, so they time ain't being wasted trying to support you, praying for you, and all that other type of shit. How do they know that? Okay, all right, cool. She listening. She get it. I see a change in her.
I think my support team definitely knows because they see who I am and how I was before I relapsed, and then they gonna see like one thing I would say. You like you said, sometimes you take one step forward and it takes 10 steps back, but sometimes that one step is 100 steps forward from where you was at before. And I think honestly, it just comes with time and seeing the growth. You gonna see when somebody healing. You gonna see when you invest in something, the return. And I feel like a lot of people definitely have seen the growth in me when I was in the journey before the relapse, and they definitely finna see the growth and how far I'm even finna go now. Cause I already went that far without going under the surface. It's no telling how far I'm gonna go now that I'm going deeper and farther. So yeah.
Where do you get the inspiration to want to be? Like, is it somebody, or is it something that's helping you, something that's keeping you motivated for those times to where even as you keep relapsing, or like something that brings you out of it? Like, because you can relapse and then it's like a pattern. You relapse and then you go back. You relapse and you go back. When you relapse, what is it that makes you decide to go back? What is it that makes you straighten your mind up and say, this ain't what I'm supposed to be doing? Is it something? Is it somebody?
Mm, I would just say it's more so losing yourself. When you in those type of environments, when I looked in the mirror and I didn't realize who I was anymore, that's when I said, nah, this ain't for me.
Okay.
Like, just out of this, I would say couple of weeks or even a week, it was still slight, things to tie up, but I still realized like the light coming back into my eyes. And yeah, I was still having my down days and stuff like that because of course it still hurts. Like you feel me? When you want something, it hurts when you don't get it. Especially from a person that don't like hearing no or don't like things going their way. I would say I'm definitely spoiled. My kids is definitely spoiled on the way too. Um, but you gotta realize sometimes everything you want ain't good for you. Um, and just like how my kids may want to eat candy all day, but it ain't good for them. So
Right.
um, I'm definitely taking taking who I was and where I want to go in more consideration and acknowledgement of not allowing myself to lose myself in anybody else other than God. If I'm gonna lose myself in something or someone, I want to lose in my faith in God because at the end of the day, I gotta stop putting my faith or my trust in a man that gonna fumble. And I think that also comes from looking up to the wrong people in my life. A lot of the people that I did look up to, they let me down. So that allowed me to be comfortable to put my trust into people that may have already shown me that they're gonna let me down. Um, but again, that's going under the surface and acknowledging that because I didn't realize that.
Mm, mm. So we did talk a little bit about your former life, and you kind of addicted to the nightlife. You
Mhm.
got an entertainment background.
Mhm.
You played diamond for a little while.
Yeah.
What led you to the Players Club?
More P Valley lifestyle, but
P Valley, down in the
P Valley,
valley where
the
the
girls
girls
get
get
naked,
naked.
yeah,
You
type
was out
life.
there.
Yeah.
Making that money. Was you letting it make you or
Nah.
no? So you had rules.
You gotta have rules and
Wasn't leaving the
everything.
club with nobody. It
Nah,
wasn't that.
nah. If I'm leaving the club, I'm leaving the
They
club
had to really pay.
with my girls.
Oh, okay, okay.
No,
So it wasn't that type of.
nah,
You
nah. It
wasn't
was
ebony.
nah. I wasn't Ebony.
Okay.
No, no. I was more like what's that girl name off of Black and Beauty? Have you watched that
I don't
show?
think I've seen that
Kimmy.
one.
More like
Is that
Kimmy.
a movie
It's
or
a TV show, Tyler Perry TV show.
Tyler? Yeah, no.
I was more like
I'm gonna
Kimmy,
miss those.
but like in my unhealthy like relapse ways. I also had the inner Melanie in me, but definitely Kimmy, like she just wanted to make a way out. She was just trying to find a way out. So that was kind of my story. Like, reason I had got into that type of life, I had got kicked out. I was living in my car. At the time,
How old were you?
I was 18. I was 18.
What was you doing to get kicked out?
Yeah.
Not listening. Shit, huh? What you?
Yeah.
All you gotta do at 18, you gotta what? Go to school, make your bed up. You ain't what wasn't you doing?
No, no, no. It was never that.
What you do to get put out?
What did I? Why did I? Me and my parents always had like a little rocky relationship. I feel like we always have a better relationship when I'm not living with them than when I'm living with them, for sure. I can't exactly tell you why I end up getting put out.
But was it always like a beef stemming from, like you say, your entire life? It was always something. So was it like a beef, an unsettled beef
I was all out.
stemming from five when you said all that stuff started happening?
Yeah, I was always running away. So I think the reason I had got kicked out is because I think I got into it with my mom um regarding the dude I was with in high school, and she had kicked me out because, like, yeah, like you said, it wasn't making the bed, but it was definitely the not coming home anyway. It's like, you keep running away, you don't want to be home, you 18 now, like.
Was you didn't like the rules? Like what was it? I mean, at 18, life wasn't what you thought it needed to be. Like was they on you? Was it so much pressure just to live there? Was it an uncomfortable environment?
It does. I'll just say, yeah, in the nicest way, was an uncomfortable
You was
environment.
getting beat a lot, or was it?
Nah, not like I was getting beat. It's just more so my life was never really stable with my parents. Like I said, I moved around a lot, and then it was times like, yeah, my mom was working and stuff like that, but then like when she would lose her jobs and stuff like that, like it took a toll. Or even the slight period times that my steppops try to hold his weight, it was never the same because, like I said, my mom always made more most of the time, so it caused us to lose a lot. It's been multiple times I may have had to go stay with family or friends even before I got kicked out the house.
Mm.
So yeah, once I got kicked out, like, I really didn't look back um until like the doors was kind of open. But
So, but look though, okay, so you get kicked out, you living in your car, you
yeah,
doing all this. So, did you even try to like apply for jobs anywhere? You just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just
oh
go
yeah,
for what I think I know is a for sure thing.
I
I'm gonna shake some
started
ass."
working when nah hell no. I started working when I was 16. I was always in my bag. So
Why you
yeah,
just didn't work then?
because working wasn't getting me enough. Like, working regular jobs, being kicked out wasn't getting me enough money to afford like a crib and you know
So, who
like
told you that you could get to the strip club? Or man, like what? What did you know somebody already dancing or?
yeah.
Okay, so they like, yeah, girl, you can make this money, and you can. Like, it ain't no.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
You
lie.
definitely could. What was your best day?
What was my best day? I probably made 5 racks. And that was just in like a 6 hour time frame.
$5,000 in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Was this who was in the club that night?
It was a lot of people. This one I had started like kind of taking it a little bit serious down in
Okay.
ATL. Had a different type of life, different type of vibe out there for
Okay.
sure. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So you got all the tricks. You locking your legs on the pole, sliding down, stopping, and ass clapping and shit. All that. It's a craft to you.
I would say it definitely is a craft. I was known for it's called the shooting star. It's basically jumping off the table and like hanging upside down and spinning. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah. You
yeah,
you got footage of that or
no.
okay? Because we would have been able to get it uploaded for the fans to see. Wow. Okay. So was OnlyFans out around this time? You ever thought about OnlyFans or
Everybody always asks me that. I always said I wouldn't get on OnlyFans unless I'm on some bad baby. I'm getting on there in the first hour. I'm getting like 10 mil, like
right?
type stuff. For
5,000. So
everybody
was
else,
it just pure dancing or like was it some stuff that you regret or you just pure? I'm just out here dancing, shaking ass.
I definitely
I
would.
made $5,000.
I would say I definitely
You was
did
doing it
hit
in the
some
back room.
stains on
Oh,
people.
okay.
I will say I hit some stains on people, but I wouldn't say it's nothing I regret. And like I said, even with anything outside my life, it's made me who I am today. So like I don't regret anything that I've been through. I made a way where I feel like I didn't have a way. And there's always a better way. But my problem solving back then wasn't my problem solving now. Like right now, like I'm choosing the right way to go about things than I
Okay.
am the wrong way. Just how fast that 5 racks came is as fast as that 5 racks went. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Fast money go by fast too. You feel me? And yeah, it looked nice, it looked pretty, but that shit don't last as long as that 8 to 5. That
Right.
8 to 9.
9 to 5,
So
8 to 5.
that
No, that
5 to
is true.
5.
Yeah, 5 racks in 6 hours. It's a lot of talent. It's a lot of talent. So what was it that made you get out of it? Like the money stopped slowing down, or it started slowing down, or you decided that
I
wasn't
want.
for me, period, or you had a bad night or a bad experience with a customer or something? Or
Oh, trust me. Over the years, like every night was not a good night. Like it's been nights where I didn't left for nothing, cause like it wasn't like a full blown. Like I ain't just start off. Like it was more so exotic dancing than it was stripping. Like for me,
what's
um,
the difference for the people that don't know?
so exotic dancing is more so like yeah, like the tricks, the pole tricks and stuff like that, non full nudity. You feel
Okay,
me? Stripping is like you fully nudity. Like that wasn't really my life. I dibbled and dabbled on that end, but for the most part my history is just exotic dancing.
you dibbled and dabbled on that end.
On that end.
You
That's
see,
that's when
she dibbled
dibbled
and
and
dabbled
dabbled.
on it.
That's when that six
That's how they
racks
try to slide it in there.
in. But yeah.
Wow. Private parties and nothing like that, or
Yeah, I definitely
okay.
yeah.
What I mean, can you? Is that something you will get back in, or
Probably not. I retired.
right? Because you're in Bible class now. You've been delivered. That's how it happens a lot of times. I swear to
You
God.
know what's crazy? It's actually church ladies that came every week.
To the strip club.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
little trap house. I wouldn't call it strip club. It was a trap house. It was
Like
like
you say, it was some Pete Valley-ish kind of
yeah, it was P Valley ish. It was like yeah,
Nas.
yeah,
Buck
but
wild.
it just wasn't full nudity
Was
like
these
P
choir
Valley.
members, some of the
It's
sisters
like
in the
you
church?
gotta wear pasties, gotta have nylons
Okay.
on type, like you know.
But they wanted to come see you anyway. What
Yeah,
was your name?
I went by Star.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
Hey. So you gotta what she say? You got to use what you got to get
Yeah,
what
what
you
you
want.
want?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that was tricks.
yeah. Tricks wasn't the best.
Diamond the one that said make the money, don't
Don't
let it
let the
make you.
money. Yeah, and that is true though. You can use what you got, but also don't get lost in it. So both of them are right in an extent. Like sometimes you do what you don't want to do to get to where you want. And I would say I definitely was not living in a car after that. I
You say
definitely had.
$5,000 in 6 hours.
Mhm.
Shit, that nigga
It took a minute to get there. Life was it wasn't always like that. When I first started, like I was barely scraping through, like,
definitely.
but you know,
But you saying now, okay, as crazy as the economy is, gas is $15 a gallon and all that other shit.
man,
Jobs not really paying enough. You said I don't care what the economy looks like. I'm done.
yeah,
I'm done exotic dancing because you had stopped stripping and then you went back to exotic dancing. But you said I don't care what the world looks like. I'm done with that. Ain't no
hmm
amount of money. Can't nobody be in town, none of that. I'm done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I would say it's the same thing. Like you just gotta know how to keep a door closed. And once I get in a mindset that I'm truly done and I'm not holding on to something, like I had to realize I gotta stop holding on to like the fast pace. Like trying to do things fast, I how you stumbling fast. Like you gotta be patient.
Right.
Like most millionaires, they ain't getting fast cash. They getting the cash that they invested in five
True.
years ago,
That's
right?
true.
So it's the long game that's going in the race. So I gotta take it steady and just build it up because even though I touched that, I don't got it now. And
Right.
especially with this economy, like 6 racks and shit. Or 5 racks ain't really nothing either.
Hell no.
Shit, motherfuckers paying $1,200 in daycare, so
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, man, but you said shit. I'll rather work. I'm gonna
I became an entrepreneur. I started my own business.
like a cleaning company.
I started
Okay.
the cleaning company a
Mop
year
maids.
before. Yep, my
Okay.
maids. And then I'm starting my podcast and I started my streaming journey. And then also I manage at a restaurant too. So I got a little multiple hustles, and then I plan on getting into school for nursing. So, I'm kind of that jack of all trades, master of none. But I'ma always have something on my belt to make a way, and it could be the right way. It don't gotta be the wrong way.
That's not a good saying though. Like, if you the
Why do you think it's not a good
jack
saying?
of all trades, master of none. I mean, you got your hands in everything, but you ain't really got nothing that you primarily do.
Ain't that how millionaires do it too?
I don't know.
How most millionaires, I
They
was a
have they
million.
have something that they primarily latch on, and then they
Yeah,
expand.
yeah. But are
And
they a master at all of that? Or do they got people
at
running it
least
for
one
them?
of them, they
Exactly.
mastered at least something. Well, I mean,
I
you know
don't
what though?
know.
You can become a millionaire a lot of different ways now. So
I don't know.
you really just got to figure out what's going to be the best thing that work for you. So what are you doing now going forward? Okay, so look, I done fail, I done got up, I done fell again,
Yeah.
I done got up again.
You always gonna
Are you
get
gonna stay up, or you looking forward to the next fall?
at the end of the day, the next fall not gonna be the same as this fall. It's always gonna be something to try to knock you down. It's how you get up and how you keep pushing through. That's what matters. You decide on what's gonna knock you down. You make your bed and you have to lie in the bed that you make.
So he can't come to you 6 months from now tomorrow. You know what?
Oh no.
You know what?
Nah,
I've
that's
had
a
a lot
wrap.
of time to think. I miss my family. I want my family back. And he
Mhm.
crying and all that. You ain't buying none of it.
Oh, you can miss it, but it's ways to go about it without being having access to me. You
Okay,
you have to
so
learn. I also am learning how not to give everybody my access. Like I said, that's that saying I go back to cutting the grass and keeping what needs to stay and cutting what needs to go,
right,
like the weeds. So you don't just because somebody may have an attachment to you, you got to learn how to the boundaries and the access. I'm big on having boundaries, like when it comes to certain things, but I'm not always the best of keeping those boundaries and applying them sometimes too.
right,
So that's the one thing I do gotta, hold myself accountable is
right.
keeping that boundary. Like we are where we at for a reason.
Mm, mm. So what do we need to know though? Like, what are you gonna be doing different with your life this time? This time around.
What am I gonna be doing
Because you've
different?
been dealing with a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? You still haven't had a chance to just process everything that you've been dealing with from the first episode. And then
Yeah.
now, you had some relapses, dealing with grief, dealing with death.
Yeah, I've dealt with a lot of things. I didn't even get into like my first grief and how that played a part in my life, but that kind of happened when I was younger. Um and like my first love or the person I felt that gave me like those butterfly feelings and first love actually passed away by getting shot. So that was the first time at a young age where I experienced grief, but I also learned how to move different with it. I resulted, like I said back then, wasn't problem solving in the most healthiest ways, and doing things different from me now just looks like learning how to celebrate life without the toxic traits.
Right.
I don't need to go to the club every weekend, or movie theater is just fine for me, and I can take my ass home. That's cool. Like, that's enjoyable. Like, that thrill, that party, like that outside nightlife, like, it come with a cost
Right.
on everything.
And you say you got it down pat now. You know it's not good for you. You know every time I dibble and dabble, is that was what you said. Every time I dibble and dabble, then I end up taking myself back further
Hmm.
than what I want to do. I
And
know
then
it's
you
not
gotta know when you're ready to go into certain spaces. Like, I've definitely gone into the clubs still here and there, but it's not to the point where like I want to work. Like, anybody asks me, like, when I go around to the people that know me at start, like, oh, I don't work here no more. I ain't worked here in like almost 2 years. Like, no, I'm cool. But at the end of the day, I had to make sure I was ready for that, and vice versa. I gotta make sure I'm ready for that knock, cause I know it's gonna try to come knocking at my door, just like any distraction is gonna try coming knocking to distract me off of the path I was going. But the reason things happen is for a reason, cause you was going somewhere. So why did that not come happen at the door? Like,
right.
you need to look outside before you open the door. So,
Hmm.
and be prepared. Have that, little booty Judy pistol on the side just in case you need to get them gone.
So no relapses for you no more.
Not in that
You can't
extent. No.
guarantee that.
I don't think anybody that.
That's a fair answer.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think anybody can guarantee that for real. All I can do is guarantee I'm gonna do my best
Okay.
and get 1% better each day.
And so that's consistent Bible class, church. Are you involved at church? Like you in the choir, or you like an usher or something?
I
Or
wish I could sing. I wish I could play the piano, but nah. I'm actually starting up my own group in my church to actually help my community with taking donations for um, single mothers and helping feeding the homeless and stuff like that. So making like an outreach program through
yeah,
them. So
okay.
that's my next thing in the workings as well too. It was a lot of things that I also got on pause because of this relapse, but like I'm back in tune now. So it's just like I said, now it's time to cross that line. I had that distraction, and now it's like, okay, now I'm back in tune to what I gotta take care of.
Did it cost you anything though? Relapse, did it cost you relationships
Oh
or like
yeah.
jobs or money, anything? What all did it cost
It definitely takes an impact on everything. It costs my peace, my sanity, and not even my own, but it caused fear, and it took away peace and sanity in those around me too, because then things start trickling over. Those, like I said, who was around me started experiencing the toxic behaviors that I was going through. So now I got them on edge and stuff like that. Like, I don't answer my phone, people spazzing, thinking I'm hurt or something that could, or the worst. But
you?
so now,
Is this your support that's doing this or is it
yeah, like,
okay?
yeah. But um it's definitely a healing journey, not only for myself but for those that it has hurt, for sure.
Hmm. I get that. And you say you did have like a poem, something that you know you wanted to share and read out. Make your bed one, was that it?
Yeah, it's called Make Your Bed.
Let's hear that.
Okay. The phrase "make your bed" implies/indicates that one must accept responsibility for the outcomes, that you must own the consequences, repercussions, and chaos results from your decisions/choices. And now you have to lay in it and confront the results. Nonetheless, do not become complicit in the face of the adversity. Instead, pick up the pieces and endure to forgive, and even more, remarkable outcomes that it may have placed on you, rather than become mirrored in the past and looking in the rear view. Gather the fragments. Remember you survived and that you are still here. Go on and grow on. Live on with your life. Learn from these decisions and the choices and lay your bed. But remember, just because you made your bed, the next day, make your bed up. Do not dwell in the mistakes. Learn from them. And you will keep, unless, and if you don't, you will keep repeating the same test. Don't stay in it. Pick up the pieces. And even better, make the masterpiece that you didn't do before.
And that sounds like what you were saying. Like, hold yourself accountable, do better the next time, make the bed up. And is that something you believe now?
For sure. Every day is a new day. So you can only take it one day at a time. And then for me, I'm a little slow, so I gotta take it 1 second at a time. Like,
You said for me, I'm a little what?
a little steady. I got a little slower. Like, I try to take on 24 hours in a day. I may stumble, so I'm gonna just take it 1 second, 1 minute, and then I'm gonna work that one day at a time.
Definitely.
Especially when you go through a relapse, sometimes you can't take it one day. You just gotta take it 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, one
Right,
mark.
right. One day might be too much to
Yeah,
plan up and
you
think
may get
about.
overstimulated, overwhelmed.
Right. No, that's pretty good. Um, so the second time around, man, how can we find you on ModMaids? How can we keep in tune with all your information, everything you're doing going forward?
You can find Mop Maids on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok now at Mop Maids. And you can find me on TikTok at KK Crazy or Beautiful Even Scars Tales.
Why you got crazy in there? Is that from that
um,
Dr. Jekyll,
I took what
Mr.
people
Hyde?
tried to use against me. I've always gotten labeled as things, and even as a younger person, that I allowed define who I was. So I took what people tried to take and define me and showed them something different. Yeah, my story is crazy, but I'm not, and that's why KK is
I mean, it is a crazy story.
crazy.
It is a crazy story, but when you look at it, with one lens, somebody will think you've just been victimized. But when you look at it with the lens that you said, make your bed, you will see that I had a part in this too. And I'm here to correct some things. I'm here to talk about what I know I did wrong. I'm here to recognize that. And they said that's the first step. One of the first steps in recovery is admitting it,
Mhm.
understanding, putting yourself in your situation. Because a lot of people will do that.
Mhm.
They like to escape accountability,
Exactly.
and that's a major thing with some people. But we want to make sure that we are holding ourselves accountable and we're learning from these mistakes going forward, doing it the right way to
Yes.
prevent them.
Very much so.
And that's what you can say you're doing.
I am.
You on that path now.
I am on that path, and I hope me getting through this path and staying on this path, like I said, will not only help me, but those around me and anybody that's going through it, been through it, prevent somebody from going through it, and even my kids, keep my kids away. Because at the end of the day, like, G Herbo said, I'm going to tell my kids everything so they ain't got to go through it. Like, you feel me? We try to sugarcoat things, but I try to teach my kids, it's always age appropriate lessons for certain times, but like tell my story to them too so they don't have to, repeat. I wish I kind of knew some of the, mistakes that, the people I looked up to made, so maybe I wouldn't have made it. But I had to see them make their mistakes, and instead of coming, victim to the, cycle, it's time, somebody got to break the chains. And I may not break all of them, but at least I'll break some of them. And if my kids got to break the rest, they'll have the tools to do it.
I heard that. Miss K, thank you so much.
Thank
So the
you.
next time you come on here, we ain't gonna be talking about no damn relapses and going back
Nah,
and
next time I come
popping
on
pills and
here.
stripping and shit. We're gonna be talking about how you been helping the community, and
Yeah.
and maybe I may be coming on your podcast.
Yeah, because that's in the works too. Beautiful Even Scars Tales will be hopefully starting its own podcast as well. So
I'll be your first guest.
yes.
Get you some episodes in. Once you start having guests or whatever, I'll be your first guest.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks again for tuning in to the Trent the Truth Show. Please make sure you like and subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. Follow us on social media, Trent the Truth. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you want to be a guest, email me at TrentTheTruthShow@gmail.com. Again, that's TrentTheTruthShow@gmail.com. Thanks again. Tell your friends. Watch it together.